these in a while. This isn't just gonna be a gaming video. I'm gonna say that. This is gonna be kind of like a, I don't know, like an explanation, I guess, just a yap sesh, one of those. So if you don't want to watch that, probably not the best thing, or just watch this on silent if you just want to watch this, I guess. So I'm only really making this because I'm waiting for my friend to wake up, so that way we can do something else. Um, so yesterday I learned something, so that's pretty neat. I learned that it's only gonna be apparently um one more appointment where I'm gonna be around my mother, so that's gonna be great. I don't usually like making my private life public because that's kind of like the whole point of a private life. Um, but I don't know. YouTube feels sort of, I don't know, like less real, I guess would be like the best descriptor, something like that. Um, so uh, I don't know how to fucking say it. Well, start it. I don't know how to start it. Um, so the whole thing with my mom, it's not exactly healthy. Um, Not like a hey, I can't wait to see my mom type of relationship, if that makes sense. Kind of more like a oh god, um, I need to like forge a new personality now, so that way I can do that and not freak out, you know? Well, I mean, obviously you don't know, cause like, yeah, but God, I suck at this. So she kind of like heavily emotionally abused me, which I know sounds like really stupid. And it's like, how do you know? Or like, in what way? And it's like, I don't know, I can't really describe it. But whenever I have been able to find the words, everybody tells me that's emotional abuse and um, that she shouldn't do that. And it's just like describing incidents, and it's just like, no, that's just like how she is, you know? And I don't know. I don't know how to describe that. Unless it's like actively happening. Like if it just happened, I can't. I can describe it perfectly fine, but like she's just like super fucking toxic. I guess I don't know how the fuck else to describe it. Um, yeah. God, I really don't know how to describe it. Well, yeah, I really. Okay, so like I guess I'll like play out like some of the things that she used to do when I still lived with her, because I live with my father now and my brother. So, but for context, I'm currently 19. I'll be 20 in August, so that's pretty. Yeah. I'm old as shit. um, so what she used to do, because I don't live there anymore. Some of the things like are um like whenever she would want my attention, she would never like knock on my door. She would always either knock directly on my wall, as hard as she could, or she would just throw my door open and scream at me. Um, which is like, not kosher, not like normal, not one of those things where you're just like, oh yeah, I'm really fond of that memory. She would do that a lot. Um, then she would like she would always complain that I ate too much. Um, when I lived there. Um, and then but I would like gorge at my father's. And I don't know if that was out of stress or just because I finally had access to like proper nutrition. I still haven't figured that out in my head. Um, but um, I've I would like barely eat anything because I was so nervous that she would like yell at me for eating too much. That like the rest of the house couldn't eat anything. And that was like when I was 13, like 14. I mean, it was happening before that, but I know for sure that like when I turned 15, like late into sophomore year, um, which I'm graduated now, but late into sophomore year, um, there would be like she would like do that, but late into sophomore year, I didn't have to worry about that so much. Ooh, the volume is loud. Um, I am actually playing this game. This isn't like pre-recorded footage. This is like, um, I know this is like terrible, but yeah, I'm sorry. But I would actually like um eat properly and shit. Um, but that's another thing that pisses off my boyfriend every time is I would say sorry too damn much. Um, but uh, I used to gorge, and now my boyfriend like tells me, God damn, that's loud. Now my boyfriend tells me that like she just like didn't understand that like people's diets change when they get older, and like to an extent I agree, but like there's a lot of self doubt in that, where it's like, is that actually the case, or is that just something that like I'm thinking in my head? Um, which again, I know that's like, wow, you're like so creative, liar, or something like that. Wow, they're kicking my ass. Um, but it, like, probably shouldn't be playing a game like this right now, to be honest. Because I am terrible with attention span. But she used to like just do that shit all the fucking time. God damn, can that thing shut the fuck up? What is that sound? What is that in the sound files? What the fuck is that speech? Turn that down to 10. Or just 20, yeah, thanks game. Um, but like yesterday, um, how I was saying with getting into the knowledge of, hey, I'm not going to be dealing with that anymore. There was an argument. Oh shit. There was an argument with her, between me and her. Um, and I can just like now I can like see the negativity. I don't know, like I've got negativity vision or something like that, where I can see it physically. It's like I don't know, something stupid like that. Um, but oh shit. Uh, but she's got a boyfriend, and I hear all about her fucking boyfriends. This is far from the first since she divorced my stepfather. Okay, that's just like loud right off the bat for like no fucking reason. Okay, I guess I can't fucking stop that. Um, sorry. But um, but she's super fucking negative all the fucking time, and the first thing that I learn about this new boyfriend is that he fishes, and then she sees that as a negative thing. So she's like, which is ugh. Um, like a totally reasonable 55-year-old. Um, because she's like so mature and everything. Um, but and I'm like, okay, well, does he fish for hunt or does he fish for sport? Like, is he more of a sport hunter or is he more like a fish hunter or more like a fish sportsman? Basically, and like, does he does he fish for the hunt or fish for the sport? That's what I asked specifically. Um, and she's like, isn't hunting part of that? Um, and I'm like, isn't hunting part of the sport? And then I'm like, yeah, but like, you're not understanding me, so I'm gonna try and put it into words that you probably can't understand. And I gave it like a football analogy, where I'm just like, okay, so hunters with fish are like the people in football where they just ram into each other and like they like hurting people. They like beating the shit out of people and running full force into them. Whereas the sportsmen want to gain points. And she's like, I don't think you're understanding the terminology. And I'm like, okay, but do you understand what I'm saying though? And she goes, yeah, I think. And she's like, okay. And I'm like, okay. So is he more of like a sportsman or is he more of like a hunter? God fucking damn. All right. Is he more like a sport? Does he do it for the sport or does he do it for the hunt? And she's like still harping on the whole thing. I was just like she's rounding back to it, which again we've already clarified that yes, I my terminology is weird, but she understands it. And I'm like, okay, you clearly didn't understand. Okay, fucker. I see how it is. um, and I'm picking up that he's doing it for the sport rather than the hunt, and I'm like, okay, the sports, the one who's doing it for the sport puts the fish on his wall, and the one who's doing it or the one that's doing it for the sport is the one that like catches the fish and then he releases it. The one who's doing it for the hunt puts it on his wall and goes ha ha ha, and the sportsman is just like, yeah, I'll just like take a photo of it. I'll just like take a photo of it, and then I might post that if it's like a bigger one than I've caught before, which is like totally reasonable, especially for like fishermen. Like, come on. And this got brought on because she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm going on hikes," and I'm like, "Okay, who's forcing you to do that?" Because she always complains, at least complained whenever I lived with her, that she had fibromyalgia and she would like tap out within like 5 to 10 minutes of actually hiking. So I'm like, "Okay, who's forcing you to do it?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, the boyfriend." Um, and I mentioned that he's just trying to find fishing spots, which again, very reasonable. It's a fucking adult man. I am assuming white because I know my mother. Um, and I also know the area that I live in, but that's not to say that there aren't other people there, but I know my mother. Um, and again, she went through that whole spiel, and I'm like, okay. And I ended at like a fucking Victorian. Like, I got out of the car, and I'm like, good day. Um, and you might say that I'm bullshitting when I say that, but trust me, if I was there, I am not bullshitting whatsoever. I wish I was. That sounds so fucking cringe in retrospect. Like, so very fucking cringe in retrospect. But like, can this fucking drop now? Please? Fuck off, bitch. Fuck. Okay. Please stay there. Please stay there. Please stay there. Awesome. Um, but yeah, no, it's like I can't really have a conversation without her going into negativity. And I can't have. Again, that's the first time I've heard of this guy, and she already is trying to like go on some tangent about how she hates him. And I already know that she doesn't like going on the walks, but she's a fucking gold digger, so you know, shit happens, I guess. I don't know. Like, I wish my mom wasn't a fucking gold digger, but every single time that, like, she dates somebody, it's clear that she's a fucking gold digger. Like, the last boyfriend that I know of was, like, this cancer patient, and he had, like, a lot of money. He was, like, spending it really fucking crazily, admittedly. Admittedly crazily. But he's, like, he was, like, pretty convinced, and she even admitted he was pretty convinced that he was gonna die any fucking day. Um, which is like very fucking fair. It's very fair if you're spending recklessly that you think you're gonna, or when you're spending recklessly because you think you're gonna die any day. Like that's a very fair fucking thing. And if you don't get that, clearly you've never had that experience. And like that's nothing against you necessarily, but it is something that you should probably like think back on because it's like, okay, do I really understand this person? Do I really love this person? And so he was spending recklessly, and the final straw was that she had like run into him. Keep in mind they're not dating at this point because she can't fucking stand the guy. Um, and they're just like friends or something like that. And apparently he's like trying to date her again, which is like cool and all. But then she did like the number one bitchy girl move, which is whenever she like visited him one time, he was with some other woman and he was like, "Oh yeah, this is Jules, my friend," and she's like, "Hello," and like apparently at one point she asked like, "Who was that?" And he's like, no, no one, just a friend," and then eventually went, "Yeah, I was like sleeping with her," which is like already something most people don't want to talk about. So like, fair enough. I don't want to fucking hear about that. You don't want to talk about it. Let's not do that. Um, but she flipped out on him and was like, "Hey, why are you doing that?" It's like, okay, cool. You're sleeping around with multiple people, and she claimed that it was because of the fact that he was endangering the women, which is okay, fair. If you're sleeping around with multiple women, that's fair. Um, but again, it's like, dude, why are you? Because she was upset before she even knew that it was multiple people. She was just upset that it was the one person. Because quote, he's trying to get back with me. That doesn't tell the same thing of I'm trying to get back with you. That tells me that you're gonna be unfaithful. It's like, okay, yeah, but like, what makes you say that he was still at that moment trying to get back with you? What if he had just moved on recently? And then she got pissy and was like, "Oh, well, you know, whatever. Agree to disagree." And again, I don't want to know this much about the boyfriends, but she brings it up every fucking time, every time, and it's unavoidable. It's like I don't know. It's like honestly, it's somewhat worse than like CIA conditioning. Like half the shit that John Kiriakou mentions, like the fucking hummus up your ass. I would prefer hummus up my ass to that. Honestly, personally, I would prefer the hummus. I'm taking the hummus. Instead of that, oh my god, I can't stand the negativity for one, and then she's also fucking bringing on the narcissism of like, oh, but he's trying to do this, and he's always trying to do this, and blah blah blah. It's like, okay, I don't care. Um, for context, we live in the Midwest. She's the weird one. Um, everybody else in the Midwest just kind of like keeps to themselves, and if they're not keeping to themselves, it's because it's gossip hour. Um, which typically like involves more than just a mom and her son, and typically like never involves a mom and her own son, especially one that was from the start of this still in high school. Actually, no, still in junior high because I was in 8th grade and she did this shit. And it's like, brother, please. Like I just want a normal childhood for once in my fucking life. I just want a normal fucking childhood, but then this shit comes up and I'm like, oh my god. Anyway, but again, like I love my mother as my mother, but nothing else. Oh my god, she is not my friend. She is nowhere close to my friend. She's nothing even resembling somebody that I want to be around for more than just my birth. Um, like my brother ended up doing this at one point before me, where he like fell out with my mother, And like, oh my god, day by day I get it. I get it more and more. I get it. Oh my god. She's insufferable. Like I again, back to the abuse shit. Um that's part of it. That is part of it. Because then she'll make me feel guilty if I don't listen to it, which is also insufferable. Um like I get it if it's like once or twice. I get it if it's once or twice. But it was every day at one point. It was every day. Even while I was still in school. Like 8th grade for me, there was the pandemic and I was stuck inside. I was still in school and she was doing this shit. I was in the middle of classes sometimes when she would get home from work, and I shit you not, she would still do it for the exact same amount of time. And then she would complain that my grades were going bad. And then she would immediately after that go, "Hey, watch TV with me. Please. I don't want to feel alone. Watch TV with me so I don't feel so alone." I mean, that's obviously like a slightly different version of what she said, but that's basically what she meant. And trust me, I was raised by her. I know that's what she meant. I know that that was the intent of her. I know that was her intent because I live with her. Well, lived with her. Lived with her at the time. I lived with her at the time. I can understand how you might think, "Oh, but you don't understand her language now. It's been years." Trust me, that is a 55-year-old woman. I left her at the ripe old age of like 51, I think. Like, for a 50-year-old woman, she does not change as much as you might think. Because, yeah, you can change when you're young within that time. You can change within while you're young. I get that. If I was judging somebody who is in their 40s now, like my boyfriend's mother, I can get that. And no, I am not. I might be underestimating my mother's age, by the way. She had me while she was like late 30s. So, yeah, and I know this because every single chance that she got, basically whenever I had the nerve to ask about how I was born and possibly why they decided to have me at such a late age and within such a large distance of my brothers, because the youngest age of my brothers to me was 7 years. Um, which if you might clock in at this, that would mean he was born in 1999, January 1st, by the way, January 1st of 1999, which makes his remembering his age very easy. I will say that is a fucking amazing birthday. Oh my god. I love it. I love it because all I have to do is just add one. That's all I gotta do. It's great. But but yeah, I'm living with that brother now. The other one is currently in Kentucky. Uh, which from my from my criminal justice class sounds like a fucking hellscape of no one likes each other or trusts each other enough to trust them with their own fucking bodies in an emergency. Which, like, good for them. Um, I wish that paramedics from another state could at least try and save your life and not worry about fucking it up because they would literally get sued to hell and back. Um, because they weren't certified and born in Kentucky. Um, but yeah, no. And she also wants to go in Kentucky. But yeah, no. My middle brother had the same experience where he had a awakening little sooner than I did, I think, but he was also still in high school when he had this, and woke up. I guess he became woke. Whoa, crazy. Um, he got the. I woke up and saw my mother's true form, mind virus. Um, again, I'm very appreciative that she didn't make me a dumpster baby, but like, oh my god. That's like, oh my god. Sometimes I wish she did because she was clearly not prepared. Another thing that I've brought up with family that know her very, very well, like my father, who is her ex-husband, and my brother, who is, disowned her, was that she likes things while they are still novel ideas. And if you don't know what I mean by that, maybe go and finish up a little bit of high school and you might learn what novel means. Novel means new, in case you're still watching. Um, so while things are still new to her, while she doesn't fully know what it's like, she loves it. While it's fresh in her life experience, she loves it to death. But the moment that it becomes regular routine and she's like fully clocked into the feeling that it gives you and fully clocked into, hey, yeah, this is going to be the experience for a little while here, she fucking hates it. She hates it to death. She wishes it would be gone. And I learned this very quickly with every single time that I would ask, hey, what's the story of my birth? What was the pregnancy with me like? And while most parents have answered their kids like normally, and I know this because I've asked other people who were born like I was. They were told a little bit more nice than I was um, about their mom's experience with them, um, and about the concept. I asked the first time I was told, "Yeah, you were surprised, and it was painful for me." So that was good at the ripe age of 8. um, and then I asked again, where I'm like, "Hey, a little bit older, maybe you're willing to tell me a little bit more on what the fuck happened and why you were so fucking mean to me before. Maybe you were just in a bad mood that day. I don't know." And then that time I was told, "Yeah, you were not supposed to happen." Um, I thought I was too old to have children, so she was being stupid. In other words, um, and she was like, "Yeah, I thought I was too old to have kids. We were really worried about like my health conditions, um, and you took a shit in me, and that was really painful. And I missed out on a lot of experiences, and everybody was laughing at me because I couldn't go through that." And I'm like, okay, so there's some trauma there of some sort. And then no, that didn't get brought up the next time, so it was not trauma; it was just complaining. Um, Damn, I'm dying. um, this is not gonna do wonders on my KD ratio. Um, and then the next time, the last time I asked, because I learned my lesson after that. Once is coincidence, two is suspicion, and then three is enemy action or whatever the fuck the quote is. Um, yeah, I got the talk again because I asked for it, and I'm like, hey, because I'm doing an assignment, I just want to like know what was the experience like when you were like pregnant with me, just out of curiosity. And then I got told everything. I want you to guess right now how old I was at this point in my life. Because I guarantee you, you might guess it. You might guess it. Uh, I was at the ripe age of 14. 14! I was 14 when I heard this. I was told that that the nurse had made a mistake. The doctor that she wanted was not in, and he was on vacation with his wife. And I was supposed to be born on August 1st instead of August 15th, which is like, okay, that's not great. Okay, I get that. That's not that great. I can see how that could be like annoying. And then she's like, yeah, so we planned around your due date, which you should never do if you're pregnant. Never do that. She was pregnant twice before this. She should have learned that lesson by now. um, Granted, I learned my lesson after 3, and she apparently, I guess, learned her lesson after 3 that she didn't want any more kids. Actually, no, she learned that around 2 that she didn't want any more kids, but she learned that she definitely didn't want any more pregnancies or kids or anything of the sort after 3. Um, and I was told pretty fucking clearly with that. Um, but she kind of like she went a little further into detail than most parents do about anything. Um, I was told that I was not supposed to happen, that I was supposed to be born on August 1st, that the doctors were that the nurse that day was an early nurse who was in training, and so she basically did the little um, scan, uh, whatever the fuck it is, the ball scan or whatever. God, I cannot remember the term. I'm terrible. um, don't trust me on terms. I am a horrible narrator. I am not a reliable narrator for terms. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Trust. I am terrible with terms. Um oh shit. But I was told, "Hey, yeah, it was a nurse in training. She didn't know what she was doing. She was pretty fucking stupid and wasn't listening to me at all." Um and so I basically had to and I went in after that a week later, and she basically said, "No, no, no, stop it," and basically assumed that I was, again, in her words, assumed that I was trying to get as close as possible to first, because nobody has births that often on the same day. There's no way. So she's complaining that she didn't get in the Guinness Book of World Records, implicitly. Implicitly, trust me, I know my fucking mother. I know what her thought processes were. That was it. Um, you may not believe me. It does sound crazy. Again, my mother made it very, very clear that no one would believe us if any. God damn, that was a fucking snipe. Okay, respect. Um, I was told that I was basically taught at like a very young age, nobody's gonna believe me. If I ever bring this up with anyone, no one is gonna believe me at all. No shot that anybody believes me. No shot at all. Um, so I'm told this, and it's like, okay, cool. Um, anything else? And she's like, yeah, you took a shit in my stomach, so yeah, I was feeling horrible, horrible cramps. I'm like, cool, thanks, mom. Uh, you're really making my self-esteem go up by blaming me for all this shit and blaming me for all of the experiences you couldn't have at the ripe age of 45. Because, everybody's trying to get everything done at the age of 45. Anybody goes and gets shit done at the age of 45. If you don't do that, then you're not living. Come on, man. Um, don't you fucking dare. Don't you fucking dare. Don't you fucking dare. No, 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 no. Come on. Yeah, you'd be mistaken in assuming that my mother was a boomer. She's actually Gen X. Um, yeah, I learned that. I don't know the age brackets, but my mother has made it very clear that she's Gen X, and then blamed everybody who was younger than Gen X and called them millennials. Oh shit! I accidentally fucking curb stomped that guy. Um, because everybody who's younger than you is obviously the generation that you hate the most. Because she hates millennials the most. She probably hates everybody in Gen Z and Alpha now too, but they're millennials to her because that's the last she paid attention. Um, but yeah, yeah. Again, I sound like I'm an ass. I sound like I'm discrediting everything that she says because I just don't like her, or that I have like an opinion on her that isn't positive. Trust me, I have tried to be positive about her, but yeah, she's not someone that is easy to be positive about because she makes it really fucking hard. I have tried so Ooh, I have tried so much to be positive about her. Like I've tried to explain every single which way of like, oh well, maybe she was just like having a really bad day, like I said the last time. Um, then it was okay. Well, maybe she just like has some sort of trauma with it. Like okay, cool, I get that. Then it was, hey, maybe she's like just not very cash money on that topic. And then it was, okay, maybe she just like fucking hates the world? Because like she wasn't always like this. She used to collect fairies and read books and stuff. And then I brought up her personality and like the events of like everything that happened with her to my new doctor, my new psychiatrist, which again, not therapist, psychiatrist, said, so she lives in a fantasy world. And I'm like, uh, yeah, I guess that sums it up actually. Because it's like the first time that I'm like, yeah, no, she does live in a fantasy world. Because she's like, oh yeah, all of this shit that I didn't like last time, surely it'll be okay this time. Surely I'll like it this time. But every single time that she does that, she fucking hates it. Hates it to death. She fucking hates that shit. And it's like, huh, you know, Doctor, I'm starting to get it. I'm starting to get it now. So don't trust my word for it. Trust the word of an actual fucking doctor. Also, by the way, dude had a sick ass office. I'm not even gonna try and play around. That guy had a sick ass office. I hope I eventually get an office of that kind, of that type. Man, that was a sick office. No, you fucker! Don't run away. No, I need to heal you, fucker. Fuck, get over here. But yeah, I I have tried so hard to think of my mother as a reasonable person. And like I wouldn't like her because I wouldn't like her anyway because she's super fucking negative. I wouldn't want to be around her very much anyway because she's super fucking negative. But it's everything compounding together over and over and over and over and over again that is just like, how do you not and I'm trying to be very very like not mean when I say this. I'm trying to be like very serious when I say this. I'm not trying to be mean or anything like that. I'm just trying to be a serious person. How have you not tried to kill yourself if you claim you hate life and everything to do with it this much? You know? Again, like not trying to be like discounting her life experiences or anything like that, but she sounds like she fucking hates it. She sounds like she fucking hates living, which is like, but you've never done anything about it that's like showing that you hate it this much. So maybe she just likes hating? Maybe she loves hating. I don't know. Like I wish I knew. I really do. I wish I could understand her mindset, but I every single time that I do, she surprises me by pulling one out from under my leg and just going, "Yeah, no, I don't think like that at all. I think very differently." And it's like appalling every single time where it's just like, "Okay, how the fuck are you like thinking that way?" You know? Like how are you how how did somebody hate so much and still go on? You know? Like, she seems to hate everything to do with living. She complains about her physical issues. She complains about everything that she does. She complains about everybody that she comes across. She complains about everything that led up to anything else. And then she complains about complaining. Like, I think she just hates liking things, or like she likes hating things, something along those lines. Because like, how do you keep going, you know? It's really fucking depressing. Like, I've tried to get into my mother's headspace and be like, okay, well, what can I expect if I bring this up? But I just, every time that I think I've got something that I can agree with her on, it's either because I'm hating on something and I'm complaining about something, or I get it wrong. Like, I really, really wanted. I wanted to connect with my mother at one point, but it's growing to look like something that is an impossible feat, something that is Herculean in nature. That if I were to try and do it, it's pointless. Like, it's the thought that she has too, where it's just like, how and why do you do this to yourself? You know? Again, like I wanted to connect with her, and I was trying so hard to connect with her, but she's just impossible to connect with unless it's negativity. And if you think about getting raised around that, if you think about what it was like growing up and having all of your founding memories be centered around that idea of living, you start to understand what I'm going through and why I'm glad to be rid of it. You know? Like, I wish I wasn't thinking this way. I wish that there was another way for me to think about this. But I have to think. I half the time I have to think about this in a second person or a third person view. That like, and then I immediately understand how depressing it sounds to live like that and to go through it daily without any sort of like missing. Like it was a scheduled thing. As soon as I saw my mother come home, sometimes I would literally close my Chromebook and just go, "Well, I'm not doing homework for a while." It's clear to me that I'm not doing homework for a while because she's home now, and she's gonna distract me from it for as long as I let her, which I know is like a terrible thing, but when you care about people that much and she knows you care, she'll exploit me. You know? Every time that I showed that I cared and showed that I had room to care about others, she exploited it and wasted my life away. And I guess it's like the footnote that would be my mother. I ended up writing a letter one time, and I wrote an email too. The email I did send, the letter I haven't. Uh, I guess I've just been too much of a pussy to print it out and give it her. You know what? I'll read it. I'll read them. I'll read them both. I'll read them both. You can. Yeah. I'll read them both. Just to. I don't know. An open letter now. Make it an open letter. I'll pull it up. I'm not gonna show anything until it's there. I'll make sure that I switch over the thing on OBS to see this. Is it untitled document? No. Um, is it this one? No. God. Okay. Just search. Is that really not? Hold on. I know I know I wrote it. It's probably not going through. It was a while ago, so I would get it if. Is it this? No. It's probably in here somewhere. Again, I am so sorry. I wish I knew how to edit so that I could cut this shit out. It's probably somewhere. It's not there. There it is. Okay. I should load this on Firefox so that way it loads faster. Here, go to Firefox, paste. There. I'll read it out loud. God, I am a terrible reader. Oh my god. This is really fucking old, so forgive me if any of this sounds like terrible. This is from July 30th, 2025 at 4:44 a.m. All of my best works come from 4 a.m. Well, technically, when did I start this? 3:47. 3:47 I started. No, I didn't want to. Damn it. Okay, there. All right. And I'll switch this over on OBS. Um, make that invisible. Um, add no, not application audio capture. Window capture. That's fine. Create new. Okay. And I'll do this. There we are. Oh, I hope that's legible. Let me. Whoop. There we go. Now it's even. All right. I'll lower that. Put this in at 125. Yeah. Ooh, rough. Yeah, that kind of just like docks my name. I'm gonna need to like, um, I'm gonna need to figure out how to edit so that way I can cover that. Yeah, there we are. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna need to cover that. I should have, I should have looked this over first. Okay. Um, yeah. Okay, so, um, I'll, yeah. This is not a letter I have looked forward to writing, but it's one I've thought about. I've thought long and hard about. I do not think we can continue pretending to be family. Maybe in the legal sense we should, and I won't start calling you Julianne or some cute nickname. Believe me when I say that I have tried so hard to move past the past. This wasn't sparked from one incident, nor was it some person as you may first try to and cry to everyone as you once did. I'm not on anyone's side except for my own. I have discussed this with many of my closest friends, and they have told me that I should have done this sooner. However, I held off. Perhaps it is because I thought, perhaps, perhaps it is because I thought, perhaps foolishly, that we could salvage this mother-son relationship, or even some semblance of a relationship beyond acquaintances. However, I cannot. You don't listen. You never have. Perhaps through arrogance, selfishness, or maybe even narcissism. I'm not sure. Your words have left lifelong scars. I am terrified to talk to anyone to talk about to anyone except for those who have seen me cry because of them. That number still grows smaller every day. I don't care what you do with this, though I can only hope that it leaves not a scar, but perhaps an endless pit until you fix it yourself. Maybe you'll gain some self-respect from any of the real friends you haven't yet pushed away yet due to perceived alliances, or perhaps the dogs will you watch suffer from year-long infections, expecting them to die any day now, as you said for the last 5 years. Either way, if this does leave a scar, it will not be nearly as deep as the ones you have left in my subconscious, giving me eternal fear and the inability to fully act for myself. As for the past, I do not need to explain myself. I never have. I know this now. All you need to know is that I've known this family wasn't normal for almost a decade now. From musicians singing of always caring, forgiving, and gentle mother, to seeing the relationships of my friends have with their mothers, I've always known something was different. Trevor claims that you use us until we're useless and then you block us out. Brandon claims you just don't care and that we have to just and that we have to and that we just have to deal with it. And my father claims you were just something and that and it seemed you were uncaring for consequences. I'm starting to recognize a pattern. And if I didn't know any better, it sounds like insanity. You insult all those I hold close to me. You want a list? Fine. My brothers, my father, my grandmother, Uncle Will. Anu, on the first day you met him, not knowing he was my boyfriend. And even then, any time I share minor frustrations I have, you gang up on him like some hate party. Lee, from the day I started hanging out with him by the fence in 2018 to even present day, you still take occasional jabs at him. Hannah, yeah. Bandit, you take any chance you can to insult the condition you allow him to stay in, festering in pain and suffering until as he still believes you have his best interest at heart. I have never forgotten that I paid for the first checkup, for a first checkup, a first round of pills, up front in cash, and you had the balls to lie to my face, saying you were still getting his medication, and that no vet within your budget would take him. You never had a budget, and you couldn't even tell me that. I found out through Lynn before you hated her guts. These two are my dogs that I'm currently reading. Currently, Peanut. Don't get me wrong. There are things to make fun of a dog for, but you go above and beyond dehumanizing the one thing that still loves you more than anything else on earth. I wish I took the dogs while you were still sleeping that day, like I knew I should have. And that's all you deserve from me. I've run through so many scenarios in my head, ways you could possibly do anything for something aside from boosting your pride or satisfying your greed. I could not. Your house reeks of every sin, something you are somehow so vehemently proud of. I do not dare to call myself a true Christian, but I do not feel the need to bathe myself in so much sin as you. Sin is was a warning. Sin was to be a warning of stagnation and evil. The presence of so much of it appalls me. You live in sloth, follow your greed, are proud of your gluttony, and lust for a vessel to unleash your wrath and envy all those around you that are happy with their lives and enjoy the company they hold. It smells of rot. I'm positive that it isn't just my dog. It follows you like a plague. You are like a black cat to everyone who has the you are like the black cat everyone has the misfortune of meeting. If you think this is cruel, perhaps you should do an introspective and remember for once that all you have said to your loved ones goes beyond pettiness. It goes beyond pettiness. As my father once said, the less you know her, the better she is. For most humans on planet Earth, it is the opposite. I cannot believe someone who regularly mocks, insults, and makes such childish comments towards their own mother in their 80s is, is surprised when someone could have the gall to do the same to you. While I add more, add more one more person to that list. The only ones I have not told of your complaints are my grandmother, Mary and Joe, which was her boyfriend at the time. I don't want my grandmother, my real mother, to know how little her daughter cares about her. Everyone else knows what you have said about them, exactly what you have said about them. I can finally choose to leave one of the many masks behind. You are not a friend, you are not my mom, you are my mother. You are unfortunately half of my genetics, which means you are also my family, but you are not family. I have chosen my family, and you are not there. Your era of having a stranglehold on my life is over. You couldn't take 20 minutes out of your day to fill out some basic information so I could get free money, at least while it wasn't worthless. Next tax season, you are not benefiting from me. You are not a part of my life as long as I can help it. My father still has hope you can have a relationship with me, but if this letter has finally made it to your eyes, that ends too. I hope that the only part of you still in my life until further notice is your screams in the labyrinth of my subconscious and the fear of common human decency. Therapy may never be able to fix those fears, but I hope to God you get actual help. The only letter you will receive from me unless you try and prove you're better is a wedding invite. I would never trust you in front of any children. I might have I might have in your current any children I might have in your current state. Stay away from me and any offspring I may create. I don't care about the crocodile tears anymore. I don't care about your high schooler level mind. If you were to die, I hope it is slow enough for you to reform yourself before you meet God. Goodbye, mother. Speedy acquaintance. And I think that's where I need to leave it. Um, the last day that I need to see her is coming up soon. It is April 27th. The time is probably going to be 1:15, and the last moment that I will be forced to be around her will likely be around 2:30. I don't I see her as my mother. I don't mean to sound cruel. I don't mean to sound wrathful. I don't mean to sound any of that. I just mean to sound honest. I hope part of me hopes that she's seen this coming, so that way the blow is less hard. But a greater part of me hopes that she hasn't. And I know it's wrong. I don't. I know it's wrong, because I know she'll feel real pain from this, but I cannot stand to deal with it anymore. I can't. I really can't. My next video on this will be the day that it happens, and it will be the moment that I get back, or as close as I can get to it. So, I'm gonna edit this so that way I don't fucking dox myself. Um, I might just leave this video unlisted and I might just share this somewhere. It's horrifying. I don't want to do it, but I know it has to happen, and I know it's gotta be shared. And I know I want to post this somewhere. I don't know where. I really don't know where. I. I'm still scared to press end recording because I that means that this is over, and that means that I have to upload it, and it means I have to hear my own voice, and it means I have to understand my own emotions for more than just the moment that I say it, and that's horrifying. I hope my next bit of content is less like this, but I know it'll be still something. I know I should make it public. I know I should cover some of the things, and I know I should blur the part that says my full fucking name because I'm a fucking dumbass who didn't look at the document before fucking posting it. It's going on an hour. I will. I'll see you next time. I hope I see you next time. But if I don't, I guess I'll leave it with the fucking Truman Show quote, because, you know, that's so fucking cool and all. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. I'll see you April 27th.